Hello, welcome to my channel. I figured today I would just show you all of my propagations because I think we're all pretty bored at home right now, or at least a lot of us are, and we're propagating. A lot of these propagations I've been working on for a while, but I've been paying a lot more attention to them recently because I've got the time. So yeah, with no further ado, let's see the propagations. Over here, I am air layering my Monstera Standeliana albo variegata because, as you can see, this plant is almost touching the top of the shelf. So she needs a little trim. There's a new leaf coming out. And I'm air layering her right here. And we've actually got some really good roots going on here. I checked on this just the other day, and she's doing really good. I love air layering. It's like the easiest and safest method ever. If you can find some like really fresh, juicy aerial roots, air layer that bitch. I'm doing the same thing to my silver sword right here. Just doing a little air layer. I don't know if the nodes I put, or the roots I put this on are active, but it is a more recent node, so I'm just hoping it will work because I kind of want to chop this and like put it back in the pot just for a fuller plant. It's so small, but I don't know, I just think it needs to be a little fuller. And another air layer. This is my Philodendron Campos Portoanum. This one's so much fun. I love this plant. And this one, when it came to me, it had the nicest aerial roots I have ever seen on a plant. And I was thinking, it would be such a waste to like not air layer this plant, to just let these aerial roots shrivel up. It'd be so wasteful, so I did that. This actually had another leaf. I chopped it here at the bottom because this piece had like aerial roots like literally this long, and I was like, this thing is ripe for propagating. And this one had some really good ones too. I'm probably not gonna chop this one. I might, but if not, I'm just gonna like direct those roots into the soil so it just has a better root system. Sometimes I just air layer for that purpose. And here we have a plastic bag with Syngonium albo podophyllum cuttings in it, lots of cuttings. I bought this plant and it was not quite ready to be in soil yet. It needed more babying than I gave it because I didn't realize it practically had no roots. So all of the leaves dropped off of this plant, but it's doing really good in this plastic bag propagation. You can see there's an all white leaf right there, and then it's growing another leaf right behind it that I'm hoping will have some green. It's kind of hard to tell. It's honestly looking pretty white. I really hope that this plant puts off some green. And right behind it, you can't really see it that well, but that's a variegated Burrow Marks philodendron, and that thing, like, I thought it was dead. I just kind of tossed it in the bag to see what would happen, and it's actually growing like the tiniest little leaves, like right there. I don't know if you can see that very well, probably not. And it's growing some roots, so it's coming back. Those don't shit very well, so it just kind of went downhill after arriving to me. But yeah, it's still trying. Got some more of the lovely air layering right here. For this one, this plant has like roots coming out of one little section right here. It's got a bit, I'm not gonna, pot it to show you, but it pretty much has this one spindly little root that its entire root system is coming off of. And that makes me nervous because I had a plant like that, and then that root broke, and then the whole plant had no roots. So here I'm just encouraging some new roots to grow from this node, and then I'm gonna bury them in the soil just so this plant has a better root system. But this is a top cutting from this right here, this Pink Princess, where I did air layer. Oh no, I didn't need to air layer it. This thing just had a big root system growing out of an aerial root. So I just pawed that up. Looking great. This one, I'm gonna wait for it to pop out a new leaf, and then I'm gonna sell this one off because I don't really need it. And I'm like, I don't really like my plants to have like this big chunky stem and then have like the whole plant coming off of it. I don't know, I don't like the look of it, so I propagate those a lot of the time. And now someone else can have a pink princess. And this is the bottom cutting of my Philodendron Florida Ghost. Same deal with the pink princess. It just had, this piece was ugly. That's really all there is to it. I've been wanting to cut these leaves off of my plant for a while. These are what it arrived to me with, and you know, this part of the leaf was just broken off. This one's going. They're just old leaves. They've been really beat up. And I didn't like the look of this stem part either. And I realized, same with the pink princess, my Florida Ghost had a real good root system coming off that aerial root. So I figured, why not? Let's just make another plant. And I'll be selling this one off too once it pops out a new leaf. I want to make sure it's doing well before I sell it. I don't want to make it someone else's problem. So yeah. And this is the top cutting of that same Florida Ghost. I love this. I love her. So good. I need to like stake this plant up because she's just flopping all over the place. But yeah. The Bloody Mary Philodendron, same thing, just took the top cutting. This already had roots coming out. So, it's doing fine. I love when my propagations just already have roots. That's great. These are some Cebu Blue cuttings in my aquarium. I'm sorry, this aquarium's disgusting, by the way. There is so much algae on it. That's all it is. But it looks really gross. But look at those roots. Like, they are so happy in here. I think I'm just going to leave these in this aquarium forever because, well, look at those roots. I don't think that wants to go into soil, really. These are my boys. That's Calamite. That's Seath. They're doing great. Philodendron Billitai. This one's also getting ready to sell. Once this leaf comes out and it looks good, it'll be for sale. This thing has an amazing root system in here. This is cut with the plant I was talking about when I talked about how like that one root coming off of, or the whole root ball coming off of one little aerial root. That was this plant, and it snapped when I went to go pot it up. And it was the worst thing ever. You can actually see one of the new roots popping out right here. And now this thing has like 4 massive roots coming out from different spots, so I feel comfortable with this plant now. But I have another Billitai. I don't need this one. The first leaf it popped out after that was pretty sad, so I'm waiting for like a nice leaf to come out. Hi, Sage. And I'm sorry if you hear a buzzing in the background. That's just the air pump to my axolotl aquarium. Baby boy. Hello. You want to destroy my plant that I've worked so hard to bring back from the brink of death? Thank you. Philodendron Painted Lady, and sorry, this desk is like a mess. I haven't figured out where to put these plants. This was my sister's plant, and she almost died. She had really bad cold damage when we received her. This was like back in December, and she dropped almost all of her leaves. She looked really good when she arrived, but you know, in the following weeks, she just went downhill. She dropped almost all of her leaves except for these 2. And I rehabilitated her, and she has a really nice root system now. She pushed out this beautiful leaf. Even though it's small, it's very pretty and it looks healthy. And she's got another one coming up right here. So I'm getting ready to give this one back to my sister. Finally, I've had this for months. But I wanted to make sure it looked really good before I returned it. This is the bottom cutting of that Campos Portuanum. And again, like the others, once this puts out a nice leaf, I'm selling it because it has a great root system. It's ready to go. I just want to make sure it's producing leaves, healthy leaves. Bloody Mary bottom cutting, same deal. Monstera Standeliana Albo Variegata, same exact case with the Painted Lady. This is my sister's. It had cold damage. It was not doing well. And now it's doing great. It has roots. This leaf has been curled up for months like this because it didn't have any roots, so it couldn't uptake water. And I'm so happy to see it's finally flattening out. And we've got a new leaf coming up. So yeah, I have this one. It was in water until recently, so this one's still adjusting to moss and then soil. But once it's done that, I'm also handing this back to my sister. This is a Monstera Adansonii cutting. It's doing great. It has, since I took the cutting, it put out this leaf and then this beautiful leaf. I'm thinking I might just take this leaf off. I don't know yet, but this one will be for sale once I feel like it's acclimated to the moss, because it was another water propagation. This is a white knight cutting that has not done well, but out of nowhere it decided it's going to put out a new leaf. It has no roots whatsoever. It has had no root growth since I got it back in December, but it put out a leaf, and I don't understand. It had two really beautiful like half moon leaves when I got it, but it dropped both of those leaves because those serve no purpose to the plant. And hopefully, I mean, I've got something going on right there. This plant has had to have rock cut off it a couple times, but it has not since started rotting again. And I'm just praying that this plant will grow roots. It was actually a Christmas gift for my sister, but it was not anywhere near being ready in December, and it's still not ready here in April. But that leaf gives me hope that there's life in it. It wants to live, and hopefully it will. We'll see about that. Here I have a little spider plant I rescued from work. It was literally in the trash can. Hello, you make me nervous. Here are some more of those variegated syngonium cuttings. These have really good root systems. They're all starting to pop out leaves, so I figured I would bring them out in the open. And this one, not a variegated leaf, but hopefully I'll get some. I'll be real sad if this thing's reverted. Either all white or all green. Great, thanks guys. But hopefully we've got a new leaf coming out right there. I can't tell if there's any white on it yet or not. A little propagation station. This is heartleaf philodendron, and I think there's a Cebu blue in there too. Yeah. There's a Monstera adansonii narrow form that has been in this water for probably half a year and has done nothing. It's like popping out a leaf here. It's been trying to push out that leaf this whole time, and it has no roots. I don't know. String of hearts. This is all I have left of my string of hearts. It hasn't done well at all. It doesn't like me. It was doing really well in water, and I guess I went too long without changing the water, so it just rotted. All these beautiful roots it had grown, they just rotted right off. I don't even know what to do with this plant anymore. And back here is a raindrop peperomia leaf, and it's got some roots going on here. So that's great. Once it starts growing babies, I'll pot it up. And here are just some more Cebu blue cuttings. These were put in here pretty recently, so there's nothing going on with them. But yeah, Sansevieria sayuri cuttings drying out over here. I'm going to try that. That's going to be a long time before that does absolutely anything. I don't know. I've read with variegated Sansevieria that if you like to grow cuttings like this, they won't be variegated. But I have no idea what the base plant of the sayuri is. It has such a different growth pattern from most Sansevieria I've seen. So I'm really curious as to what's going to come from this. Hopefully something comes from this. I'll let you know in like 2 years. And here we have some Raven ZZ. This one was these were from cuttings. These were grown from cuttings. I grew them in water for an unknowable amount of months. This took a long time for these to grow bulbs, but they have bulbs now, and I think they're doing well. This one was rotting. Well, these were rotting too, and that's why I cut them. This one was rotting. I chopped off most of its bulb, and it's doing fine now. Most of the ones I did that with ended up rotting all the way through and became like this. But this one's actually doing fine, and it's been months, so I think he's good. This is just a separation, and same with this one. Look at how small it is. Yeah, little divisions from a mother plant. But yeah, these I'm holding on to for plant swaps. Eventually. Someday. Ignore the cups in the background. It's the basement. And some Calathea mosaica. This one needs some water. Same thing, just holding on to these for a plant swap. I'm actually saving this to send out to someone, and this is for a plant swap. And this is in my basement. This is just where I grow a lot of my cuttings. I've got a grow light here. This is a south-facing window. So that's great. It's a pretty good setup. Let's start off with these variegated string of hearts. This is like a little cutting I got in a box of a plant I ordered. Actually, it was my Thai constellation. The seller just threw in a variegated string of hearts. And it was like all dried up. You can see right there, that's the original stem. And I was like, well, this doesn't look like it has any life in it, but let's toss it in some soil and see what happens. And you can see it has the cutest little leaves I have ever seen, and it's doing amazing. It's wet because I literally just watered it like yesterday, but it's doing great. Here we have some little peperomia. That's a peperomia frost. These are all grown from leaf cuttings, and that's a peperomia rosso. Those will probably just be given away at the next plant swap whenever those can happen again. Some string of pearls that I've been trying. This was another freebie I got in a box, and I've just been trying to bring this thing to life, and it just will not. These pearls are just perpetually like that. I can't get them to plump back up. I don't know. And you can see there's like some dead stuff over there. Yeah, I don't know what's happening with this. This is a philodendron lemon lime upright. And it's so cute. Like, look at how cute this little, like, look at my finger next to this plant. It's so small. That is probably just for a plant swap. These are some pearls and jade cuttings that had really nice aerial roots, and I figured I would try soil propagation. Sorry, this anthurium. But yeah. I haven't checked on the roots. I'm afraid to. I'm just going to leave it be for a bit, I think. I put this in pretty recently. There's another lemon lime. Super tiny. So cute. There's a Syndapsis silverian cutting. Same deal as with the pearls and jade. I just figured I'd try some soil propagation, because why not? And I have plenty of both of these plants if these die. And these big boys are some Anthurium plowmanii that I received in the mail a while ago, and they had really bad root rot. But Anthuriums are like the most resilient plants ever. They have never looked worse for wear, like ever. They've been fine. I've been checking on them, and I've kind of been gradually cutting off more and more rotting roots because it just seems like I can't get rid of all of them because of how thick Anthurium root systems are. But all three of these, actually four, there's two in this one. All four of these plants have been recovering beautifully. They have some really good fresh root growth coming in, and I'm really proud of them. When they're ready, I'll be selling them, but I'm going to make sure that they have really nice, healthy root systems before that point. So it will probably be a while, but they are doing very well. They have, oh yeah, they have new leaves coming up, and that's pretty much what I'm looking for with, you know, all of my propagations or rescue attempts. I'm looking for a new leaf, and all of them have signs of that. Because usually a new leaf tells me this plant is doing well. Because if it's unhappy, it's not going to be popping out leaves most of the time. Or if the leaves come out looking sickly, I know to wait. I'm not going to send someone a plant that's doing that. So yeah, that was all my propagations. I hope this was interesting, and I'll see you in the next video.